Welcome to In the Workplace, an intermediate integrated skills textbook. I'm Ray, your strategy coach. You'll meet me at various points in the book. I give you some very important learning strategies. But first, I will take you on a short tour of your textbook so that you can learn how to use it efficiently. We will first look at the book table of contents. It lists all the parts of your textbook. You can click on this main table of contents to easily go to any part of the textbook you want. Click here to go to Chapter 1. Now we are on the Chapter 1 table of contents. You can always go back to the main table of contents anytime by clicking here. All the chapters in the textbook are organized in the same way. Let's have a closer look at Chapter 1 so that we can understand how the chapters in the book are organized. Every chapter opens with an introduction. The introduction is divided into 3 parts. Objectives. Each objective is an action you will complete in the chapter. Video. The video provides you with a situation to observe and analyze. Focus questions. These questions will help you analyze the video and become more aware of workplace culture and expectations. In the introduction, your workplace mentor, Sandy, gives you some very important tips. The next section of each chapter is the reading section. The reading section is divided into 4 parts. Before you read. In this part, you will think about and discuss some pre-reading questions about the text that you are going to read. This will help you develop some important strategies, like predicting and activating your background knowledge of the topic and the vocabulary. Read. In this part, you will read a text. The text is presented in various formats, such as an article, an email, or a tip sheet. In the next part, after you read, you will answer comprehension and vocabulary questions. You will also discuss important points that you learned about through the reading. Reading Progress Check. This is the final part of the reading section. It gives you some more practice in reading and an opportunity to self-assess your reading comprehension and vocabulary. The next section of the chapter is listening. This section has the following parts. The first part is Before you listen. In this part, you will think about and discuss some pre-listening questions about the text that you are going to listen to. This will help you develop some important strategies, like predicting and activating your background knowledge of the topic and vocabulary. Listening 1 and 2. You will have the chance to listen to 2 conversations or talks and answer some questions to check your comprehension and work on new vocabulary. These questions are presented in After You Listen. In After You Listen, you will also have the opportunity to discuss some important points you learned about through the listening. These discussions will help you use some of the new vocabulary you learned. Sometimes, a talk might be presented to you in 2 parts, Excerpts 1 and 2. Excerpt means part. Listening Progress Check. This is the final part of the listening section. It gives you some more practice in listening and an opportunity to self-assess your listening comprehension and vocabulary. The writing section has 3 parts. Before you write introduces you to the basics you will need for the writing tasks that you will complete. Writing practice. Here you will practice and develop some important writing and essential skills. Writing Progress Check. This is another opportunity for you to practice the skills you learned. You will also learn how a rubric is used for assessment. Speaking. The first section is pronunciation. You have 2 tasks to complete to develop your pronunciation. One of the tasks is at word level and the other is at sentence level. Speaking practice. Here you will be presented with a speaking task to complete. The speaking task will help you develop your speaking skills. The Speaking Progress Check is the final part of the speaking section. It will give you another opportunity to practice the skills you learned. You will also learn how a rubric is used for assessment. Now we come to the final part of the chapter, the wrap-up. This section gives you the opportunity to process what you have learned in the chapter. It is divided into 3 parts. Discussion. In this part of the wrap-up, you get to discuss what you learned in the chapter and identify what you need to improve and develop in yourself. The discussion also helps you prepare for the next part, reflection. In reflection, you complete a task which requires you to write down your thoughts and reflections on an important aspect of the chapter. The reflection is followed by the final part of the wrap-up, the extension. In extension, you will have the opportunity to develop the new vocabulary you learned in the chapter, practice your speaking skills by interviewing people outside your classroom space, and develop some important research skills. All of these are very important opportunities to develop both your language skills and your essential skills. Every chapter ends with a chapter vocabulary list. This list has the key vocabulary for the chapter. Before we end the book tour, I want to share one other very important point: design. Throughout the chapter, you will meet Sandy and me. Sandy is your workplace mentor, and I am your strategy coach. Sandy gives you important tips with a focus on the workplace environment. I, your strategy coach, give you important tips for learning the English language. You will also notice some icons. The icons tell you what is available to you. Here are the icons and what they refer to. This icon means you have an interactive task to complete. This icon means that there is some important information for you to read and understand. All my tips and your workplace mentor tips have this icon. This icon means that the task has a fillable PDF. A fillable PDF is a document that you need to download and save on your computer before completing it. Always remember to download and save it on your computer before doing the task. Your instructor may ask you to print out and submit the completed document. We have now completed the tour of your new textbook. I hope you will enjoy your new textbook and learn a lot. You can come back and watch this book tour at any time until you are completely familiar with the textbook. See you again in Chapter 1.